AITAH for kicking my Bridezilla sister out of my wedding? Let me start from the beginning, because this story is a doozy. My sister, Emily, has always had a flair for the dramatic. Ever since we were kids, she had to be the center of attention, no matter the occasion. Birthday parties, school plays, even funerals, she somehow made everything about her. So, when I got engaged to my wonderful fiancé James, I knew she might be a handful, but I never expected her to go full-blown Bridezilla at my wedding. Emily got married 2 years before me. It was a gorgeous wedding, but she was a nightmare leading up to it. She threw tantrums over bridesmaid dresses, fired 3 different makeup artists, and even had a meltdown at the rehearsal dinner because the shrimp cocktail wasn't plated exactly how she wanted. My family and I chalked it up to wedding stress and let it slide. We thought, once she gets married, she'll calm down. We were wrong. When I announced my engagement, Emily immediately started making everything about her. First, she insisted I wear a dress similar to hers, so our weddings could have a matching theme. I politely declined, telling her I wanted something different. She pouted and then suggested that I just borrow her wedding dress to save money. I declined again. Then she threw a fit when I didn't pick her as my maid of honor. My best friend, Lisa, had been there for me through thick and thin, and I always knew she'd be my MOH. Emily acted like I had slapped her in the face. She called me crying, saying that as my sister, she deserved to be my maid of honor. When I stood my ground, she passive-aggressively tried to sabotage Lisa's duties, claiming she wasn't experienced enough to plan a wedding. Things escalated quickly when Emily started criticizing every decision I made. She didn't like the venue. It wasn't fancy enough. She complained about the bridesmaid dresses. They were the wrong shade of blush, and she had a meltdown over my cake choice. She actually had the audacity to call my bakery behind my back and try to change my order to the same flavor she had at her wedding. The final straw came at my bachelorette party. Lisa had planned a beautiful weekend getaway, and everyone was having a great time except Emily. She kept making snide comments about how her bachelorette party had been bigger and better. She even went as far as to say, well, when I planned my wedding, I made sure everything was perfect. Maybe if you listened to me, yours wouldn't feel so basic. I had enough. I told her that if she couldn't be supportive, she didn't need to be part of my wedding at all. Cue the waterworks. She called my parents, sobbing about how I was kicking her out of the wedding and that I was being a bridezilla. Yes, me. The irony was unreal. My parents, bless them, tried to stay neutral, but they encouraged me to just keep the peace. The wedding day arrived, and I was hoping Emily would put everything aside for one day. But nope. She arrived late, didn't wear the dress I asked her to, and even tried to switch her assigned seat to be closer to the head table. But the cherry on top? During the reception, she grabbed the microphone unannounced and gave a long, rambling speech about how she and I competed over everything growing up, and how she knew she had to let me have this moment, even though she was used to being the star of the show. I saw red. I walked up to her, took the microphone, and said, Emily, this is not your wedding. If you can't respect that, you need to leave. Gasps. Silence. Then she stormed out in dramatic fashion. Now, half of my family thinks I was right to stand up for myself, but the other half, including my parents, thinks I humiliated Emily on her sister's big day and should have just ignored her antics. So, AITAH for kicking my Bridezilla sister out of my wedding?